a beloved franchise that rivals Lord of the Rings in popularity. Everyone knew an adaptation would eventually happen, and now it's here. The question is it faithful to the source material, and even more important, is it any good? Today we review Amazon's Wheel of Time Season 1. So Amazon Prime's first season of Wheel of Time wrapped up this week. Now I'm going to be straightforward. I read the books a very long time ago. Actually, I've only read the first 3. That was back in the mid-90s or so. If I had to guess exactly when, I'd say probably around 1993. So with this series I did something different. I decided not to reread the books and just go in fresh and see what I see. And to be honest, my memory was really fuzzy about what the books entailed and what was going on within them. With that, I'm going to also add that one of the big complaints is it's not faithful to the books. So what I did was watch the series, then went and looked up what the differences were, and memories came flooding back. Now with this review, I'm going to try to be as spoiler-free as possible, but there will be some minor spoilers, so be forewarned now. Now, I wouldn't say that's a majorly bad thing, but it is something to be concerned about because you run the risk of boring your audience. Now, thankfully, I did have some background, so it did pick up on a few things pretty early. But I can see where somebody who never read the books would be like, what is this? One of the best aspects of the show has to be the sets. The sets throughout the entire thing just looked beautiful and wonderful, and the set dressing was great. It was perfect. That is one of the aspects I got to give to the show, is really awesome. It really set the tone, and you really felt like you were kind of in this world. There were a couple of times where some CGI was added that it kind of took away from it, but it wasn't so terrible that it was bad. Now, in general, the CGI is a little hit and miss in the show, especially the last episode. The CGI in the last episode was just horrible. I don't know what could have happened. It looked like they were rushed into production or something. What's really weird is we already had CGI of the monsters in question, so why did things just suddenly go downhill? It's an odd one, and I don't really have an answer for it. So on to changes from the books, and one of the biggest ones that people caught right away was Perrin had a wife. Now, first and foremost, the main characters, they were a lot younger in the books, so him having a wife is really jarring. Then, in the middle of an invasion, he accidentally kills her. Now, honestly, I have to say I didn't see much purpose in this, and it didn't seem to really flesh out throughout the series, so I don't understand why the writers even put that in. It seemed to not serve what needed to be done, and honestly, I think Perrin's character suffered for it, because after that, he really didn't have much to do. I mean, basically, the rest of Perrin's story was, oh gee, wolves like me for some reason. But plus you add to the fact that, right after Perrin kills his wife, he goes off on this grand adventure. It's a little jarring and a little weird, to say the least. He doesn't really mourn his wife in as much as he's too busy having a grand adventure. Now, another big complaint, and this is kind of like the elephant in the room, is everybody was working about the woke people. Ooh, scary. And another change from the book. The whole point is to be searching for the one that is the Dragon Reborn. In the book, it's very clear that it's a man. In the series, it's not clear. People thought that was going to lead to something jarring and totally changing the story. So without spoiling it, I will say the Dragon Reborn is the same person that it is in the book. It didn't change anything. Quit worrying about it. However, in fairness, there were some major irregularities. One of the major ones was Egwene was able to channel seemed like she was channeling a lot stronger than she should have been able to channel. She didn't really know what she was doing yet. She was doing things that were pretty strong. Now, granted, they weren't super powerful until the very end. Still, maybe it was a case of, let's try to make this woman stronger than what she is in the books. It's fair assessment and a fair criticism. Now, I will say two other characters I think suffered a little bit in the series were probably Moraine and Lan. Now, in the case with Moraine, I think the problem was that after a while you began questioning why our heroes were even following her. She kept cutting God up in lies and half-truths. And then, at one point, they even flat questioned her. And, I don't know, it just seemed a bit far-fetched that they would continue following her. And this got even worse at the end, where something important happens and she says, "I cannot lie." And it's like, yeah, you can. You lied the whole time. You lied the whole show. You can definitely lie. Now with Lan, the other side of it is, you got to keep in mind in the books, he is one of the toughest fighters in the land. We really only see him fight once. And there were plenty of opportunities for him to fight. I don't understand why they didn't use that and go with it. Still, I won't say it was terrible, but it was odd. And so I've given this show a lot of downers. So is it all down? No. Now, I will say, I did kind of run the gambit of being bored and disinterested and then being, oh, wow, this is cool. So, ultimately, I would have to say the, oh, this is cool moments did outweigh the bored. So, I would say it's a decent first season, but not the best. A lot of people have been calling this a new Game of Thrones, and I don't think that's it. With Game of Thrones, I felt like I was invested from the very start, at least by midway through. With this, I'm still going to keep watching, but I don't feel quite as invested. I think it can come back in a better second season. Right now, though, I will give this first season 3.5 stars. It's good when it's good. It's cringeworthy when it's cringeworthy. But it is watchable. So give it a shot. See what you think. Maybe even read the books afterwards. Who knows? Maybe you'll find you like the books better. I know. I think I'm going to do that and see what I feel. So until next time, this is Robert saying goodbye from Infinite Realms.